Hey gang, thanks for hanging with the Mechanic Ninja today. Today I'm going to teach you what to look for when you're buying a snowblower. Whether you're buying used or whether you're buying new, there are definitely things that you want to look for so that you get a solid machine that will last you a long time. So that's what we're going over in this video. So let's just jump right into it. Okay, the first thing you want to look at when you're going to buy a snowblower is what engine does it have on it. You definitely want to stick with either the Briggs & Stratton engine, the Tecumseh engine, or a Honda engine. The way that you can tell is Honda, Tecumseh, and Briggs & Stratton, they will have their logo on the engine. Let me show you an example. This one's a Tecumseh right here. If it's one of those three brands, they plaster their name on the engine because they want you to see it. Oh, this one is so old it's not on there anymore. Where it will normally be is right, it will be right on the pull start, right here. It'll say Tecumseh right across that. Okay, that's where Tecumseh puts theirs. Briggs & Stratton, they will have something there as well. It'll either be here or up on another part of the machine, but 9 times out of 10, it is right on the pull start for the machine. I'm going to show you on this one. This one is not any of those three machines or brands that I just told you. This is the one you want to be weary with. This one right here does not have Briggs & Stratton, Tecumseh, or Honda on it. It just says liquid combustion technology 208 series. If it does not have a good name brand on it like Tecumseh, Honda, or Briggs & Stratton, I would stay away from it. A lot of these machines, what they're getting put on them right now is a Chinese engine that's called LTC is the brand. They look very, very similar to a lot of Briggs & Stratton engines, and they just do not have the durability or the strength or longevity that these Tecumsehs, Hondas, or Briggs & Strattons have on them. When I've been going to local stores looking for machines to see what they are selling nowadays, you see a lot of the LTC Chinese engines on them. They sure look pretty. I mean, look at this machine. That's a good looking snowblower. But looks can be deceiving on a snowblower, and indeed it is on this one. The engine looks sharp, looks great, but the LTC engines are not built as strong as the other ones. This Tecumseh, built very strong. They've been proven on snowblowers, so those are the three brands that I would stick to. You can't just go off of the brand of the machine. This one here is a Legend Force. That one there is a Craftsman snowblower. You cannot just go off of the brand anymore. I've seen them putting different bad engines on your name brand machines nowadays, like your Ariens, your Cub Cadets, even Husqvarna. I haven't seen Husqvarna. I don't know if I've seen one there, but still check if you're looking at a Husqvarna. So engine, you definitely want to check that. Next thing I want to go over is tracks versus chains. If you want a tracks machine or a tire machine like the ones in front of me, it all depends on how steep your driveway is and what you're going to be snow blowing. If you have a steep driveway with any kind of an incline that is significant where these tires will slip out, you want to go with a tracks machine. Tracks snow blowers will climb just about anything. If you have just a little incline on your driveway, these wheel-driven snowblowers will do just fine usually, and you can also put chains on them like this one right here has. This one has chains to give it extra grip. So just be aware of what you're going to be snowblowing. If you have a super steep driveway and you get a snowblower with just wheel-driven, then you're only going to be able to snowblow downhill. And then good luck getting your snowblower back up the hill. So definitely go with the tracks. Next thing you want to look at are the chutes on the different machines. You want to make sure they are metal. That one right there is metal. Again, you can't trust the brands. That one's metal and it's on a Legend Force. This one's plastic and it is on a Craftsman. I don't know who the brilliant person was that came up with putting plastic chutes on a snowblower, but what happens to plastic when it gets in the cold? If it gets hit by something hard, if it gets just nicked, dinged, hurt, sometimes they will crack. You definitely want to make sure that you have a metal chute, like this guy. That's strong and durable. Next thing you want to look at is the scraper blade. If you're buying new, you don't really have to look at this. If you're buying used, you definitely want to look at this. So I'm going to go ahead and flip this up. What is a scraper blade? It is the part of the machine that is riding on the ground, making it so that it's what's scraping on the ground while your snowblower is going. It's a piece in and of itself, not part of the machine. It's bolted onto the machine right here, but it's a piece about this wide that's just bolted onto the bottom. It's a wear and tear item. It's an item that's going to be replaced over time as it gets scraped down. This is what you definitely want to look for when you're buying used. How does that scraper blade look? Is it super jaggedy? Is it worn evenly? Is it worn terribly? Is it even there? Sometimes I've seen where people have used snowblowers where the scraper blade is there, but they have completely worn through the bolts and they're now wearing the machine. You cannot replace that piece on the machine where you have the scraper blade that protects it. So if yours is if the bolts are missing and gone, I'd stay away from that machine because you can't easily replace that scraper blade when the bolt holes are scraped through on the snowblower. If it's used like this one's still in pretty good shape. I would buy it because it has a few more years in it and then you'll need to replace it. Definitely something you want to look at. Next thing you want to look at is the auger down inside. Down in here, this propeller way back in there, the one right here that is going like this is behind these augers. You want to make sure that that is metal. I have had a snowblower that was plastic and those propellers were melting. Craziest thing, there was one or two of them that were melting. Again, why put plastic on a machine that's going to be exposed to severe cold temperatures? I don't understand it. Next thing you want to do while you're down here, take a look at your auger out here. Is it dinged? Is it nicked? Is it significantly cracked or broken anywhere? You're going to have nicks and dings because this is sometimes going to rub on something hard, but you don't want to crack through these. Next thing you want to look at on this machine, this is a perfect example. You have what's called shear bolts. These are shear bolts here, or this is where shear bolts should be. Someone just stuck a normal bolt through these. A shear bolt looks different. Usually they're pointed on the end. They have a bolt head on one end, a nut on the other, and then there's usually a point on the one side. If it has just bolts in it, I would ask them if they did that. How long has it been driven and used with just a normal bolt? Because if it doesn't have shear bolts in it, shear bolts protect this gear mechanism here. If it hits something and it binds up, it'll snap the shear pin before destroying the gearbox. So if it has bolts in it, ask them how long they've had it. And if you end up purchasing it, you want to definitely switch those out. Look up the make and model of the machine and put the right shear bolts into it. Okay. Obviously, if you're buying new, you don't have to really worry about that stuff because they should have the right parts on it. Next thing you want to do is you want to check the oil. Go ahead and pull the oil dipstick. On a Tecumseh, it's right here in the front. Go ahead and pull this, you unscrew it, pull it up, look at it, see how black and dirty the oil is. That'll give you a good indicator of how often it's been changed. That's not a super huge buying negative. If it is super dirty, just know that you're gonna have to change that oil as soon as you get it. Over here on these newer machines, on the LTCs at least, it's got the same thing right here in the front. You can check the oil right there. Another thing you want to look at while you're looking on the machines, how much plastic does my machine have on it other places? What parts are made out of plastic on my machine? Because at some point, plastic is going to break. So just checking to make sure that there isn't serious components of your machine made from plastic. Okay. Okay, a lot of these machines are starting to come out with cables on their, up on their handles that are moving the chutes around. They'll have a bunch of cables coming down and it'll hook to this and also hook down here, and then there's a joystick right here that moves all that, which is super nice and convenient. Just make sure that you check your cables that they are not frayed anywhere in there or up where they attach. Make sure that they're not fraying. It's a big indicator that they're starting to go out and you're going to have problems with them. Let's see. Another thing you want to do if you're buying used, you want to move through the gears. Come back here by this Craftsman, and you want to make sure that these gears are freely moving. You want to make sure that those move really easily. Some of them don't. This one, in fact, I had to fix. It was really hard to move. Some of them won't move at all. Or some of them, if you ever happen to put a lot of pressure on it to get it to move, that's an indicator that it needs to be greased. So if you're mechanically inclined, it's a super easy fix. And you can check out the video I have on my channel that shows you how to fix that. If you're not mechanically inclined, then you might want to pass on that snowblower. Okay, next thing you want to look at as well, on the tires, you want to look at the tires and make sure that they are not weather cracked. If they are weather cracked, then you're obviously going to have to be replacing them soon. Okay, one other thing I want to show you guys, it's on this Tecumseh snowblower right here. You can do this on the Tecumsehs, and you can also do it on your Briggs and Stratton engines. But you want to come over here to the side where the carburetor is. That's where all of your chokes and everything are. You want to come under here, put your head under here and look at that carburetor. You'll see the bowl of the carburetor. Look and see how nasty and grimy it is, or how clean it is. Hopefully it's clean. If it's nasty and grimy and has old gas laying on it and it's got dirt and soot all on it, that's a big indicator that this carburetor has not been gone through or cleaned or serviced recently. So just know if it's that dirty, it's probably going to be clogged in the near future and need a service on it. So again, I have a video showing you how to do that, but if you're not mechanically inclined, then that's probably not the right snowblower for you. Another thing you want to do, if you have someone that is with you while you're looking at the carburetor down here, have them push the prime button. If you see gasoline coming out from the top of the float bowl, that's a big indicator that that gasket is going bad or has gone bad. You should only see gasoline coming out of the intake in the carburetor. Okay. Next thing I want to show you is how to help and make sure that you don't get a bad transmission. Okay. If you're checking all these things when you go to buy a used snowblower, it's going to be a wonderful thing. The person that you're buying it for is going to be like, holy cow, this person is thorough with their purchases. Okay, one thing you want to do is go ahead and tip this up just a hair. Make sure it's in view. Might have to scoot you back a little bit. Go ahead and tip up your snowblower like this and move these tires around. Kind of grab the tire and move it side to side. If that axle is traveling significantly far, I would stay away from that snowblower. All of them, for the most part, have a little bit of play, but this one's moving about 1/4 of an inch, and that's good. So if yours is wandering and moving all over the place and popping out a little plastic insert there, stay away from that snowblower. Also, another thing, if you come to someone's house and they say, yes, it starts very easily, but sometimes this has a hard time coiling in, that's an easy fix. But if when you pull it, it doesn't grab anything. It just pulls out like it's not even doing anything at all. That's an indicator that your pull start rope is going out, and that will need to be replaced or worked on soon as well. Another thing you want to look at is down here, your shoes. I'm gonna pop that up real quick again. Your shoes that slide on the ground. That is what slides on the ground to protect your snowblower as well. As you can see on this one, sorry, let me get you where you can see. That one is bent up pretty bad, but for the most part, it has been protecting this machine. So if these are super worn, just take a look at it. You'll probably have to replace those as well. Super easy to replace, but if you don't like doing that kind of work, then don't buy the machine if it has some super used ones. Okay. Another thing you can look for is if a machine has been stored outside most of its life. You can see on the plastic, I can't think of it. I can't think the gas container. This one is supposed to be black. It looks almost gray because it's been so changed by the weather, sitting outside so much. This is one area that I am okay with there being plastic, which is the gas tank. They come in metal or plastic, and that I'm okay with it being plastic or metal. Another place you're gonna have plastic is right here on the cover to the belts. I am okay with that having plastic on it. Haven't seen a whole ton of problems with that. If you are buying a 2-stage snowblower, check it in all the ways that I just told you on these. If you're buying a single-staged snowblower, you can check a lot of the same things as well. Be aware though, on a single-stage snowblower, it's gonna have a lot of plastic. You cannot get away from the plastic on a single-stage snowblower. Usually it's just a frame with an engine and then a huge plastic cover over the engine. That's how a single-stage snowblower is built for the most part. So don't be scared of plastic on a single stage because you can't get away from it. If you can find one with a metal chute, yes, that's obviously better. The less plastic, the better. But I'm not blind to seeing that single stages have a lot more plastic on them than a double stage. So, okay, well, I hope this helps you as you're looking for a snowblower. This video, I showed you what to look for, what to stay away from. Don't be fooled when you're out looking for a snowblower. Watch this video and be prepared when you're going to look for a snowblower. I want you to get the best snowblower that's going to last you the longest time. So those are my best advice to you. I've been working on these for quite a while now. I see what breaks and what doesn't, and I just gave that advice to you. I'm also going to do another video that teaches you how to take care of your small engines so that they last a long time. So if you end up purchasing a small engine, snowblower, lawnmower, hop onto my other video and I'll teach you how to keep it running for the longest time possible. Hope this video helped you out. Go ahead and smash that like button and subscribe button. It really helps me out. You guys have a great day. Rock on.